So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another scene from Step to the Hearthfire in Duluth, Minnesota, where Charlotte has only been asleep but so long. But we'll probably be getting up and about. Um, all things considered, shit's been kind of weird. She is going to probably have not so restful sleep because mangled bodies will do that to a person. And as such, we'll probably be up at the ass crack of dawn again, and we'll carefully kind of pluck her way out of bed, making sure she doesn't wake up Damon. And we'll start puttering her way downstairs, maybe into the kitchen. Go rifling around for snackies. Grab herself a soda. And while she's at it, she'll grab a second one. And fuck it, she's a glass walker. Grabs a big ass bag of Cheetos. The cheesy poof ones. And we'll putter towards the door, slipping on some flippity flops, some slippery bits, just something to go between the sole of her feet and the ground, and thus majestically in her PJs, we'll putter out of the cabin. I guess the question of the day is Leaf still on the porch at the ass crack of dawn?
No. You reckon Leaf has gone to bed?
Oh. There's just kind of pause and glance towards the that swing, and the idle thought of, he does sleep. Go figure. So she will, put down the porch steps and start off towards the lake. Now that she's got that super nice early twilight hood light going on, it's not much, but it's enough to pick her way along. We'll head down that way.
You do. And you see him sitting there down by the lake, small little kind of miniature fire going, essentially. You can kind of get away with it out by the woods where it's at. Looks like he slept there rough, essentially.
Is he still asleep?
No, he's awake, sitting there, putting gentle skewers of meat over the fire.
Oh shit, here I thought I'd just come share.
Looks over his shoulder.
Put so long.
Early bird catches the worm.
Or the kind of tilts her head, trying to decide what the world he got a hold of.
Rats.
Or, ooh. I don't know, man. I think I'd stick with the Cheetos.
They're pretty nice when you cook them right.
Just kind of like squints at it, like,
It's pretty nice. Like, they're not like from the city. These are out in the wild, mouses and shit, so.
I suppose. Mind if I plunk down with you?
Sure.
And she will kind of just woof down onto the ground, out of his way, but close enough to like. I mean, I'm sure he's doing the whole like I shall drink from the lake and blah, but she'll still set one of those over.
He did. You see, he has like a flask essentially. You assume like it's coffee or something.
Yeah, she just pops a soda over by him. He can drink it now. Hell, he can kind of shove it half into the water, keep it cold, and drink it later. Who knows? But at least she's given a cursory offering.
Just nod, like an acceptance, like, thank you.
So, roughing it, huh?
Sometimes I like to come out here and rough it to think.
Don't suppose you're the kind of person where the external monologue helps.
Why'd you say that?
The idle shrug.
I don't know. Perhaps it's the lawyer in me that just likes to think about things.
I mean, maybe?
Shrugs. Pulls one of the pieces of meat off the stick and takes a bite out of it.
She looks decidedly skeptical still.
Offers the stick over.
I mean, skeptical look aside, she'll still reach over because it's been offered and snag one of the bits off. Give it a cure, like not like the is this going to poison me sniff, just the what kind of.
Smells fresh. Smells decently cooked.
Yeah, it's just kind of the sniff of like, what is this most like? And yeah, toss it in her mouth.
It's a bit chewy. It's a bit ribby, but it's not bad. You know what I mean? It's not the worst thing I'd say. It's not like delectable, but it's not as bad as you were expecting. It's actually probably a lot nicer than you were expecting.
It probably is, honestly. So yeah, the eyebrows will kind of do the pop of like, oh, this isn't the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Go figure. And she shrugs. Okay, you're right. That actually isn't bad.
It does the job when it needs to.
Suppose so. More calories in Cheetos though. Pops the bag open. Not the classiest side dish, but if you want some.
Shrugs. Why are you out here then at the crack of dawn, Charlotte Sullivan?
Can't sleep. Why else would I be up this early? This is unholy.
I don't know.
You would go so far as to rub at her face a bit. No, I've been up this early since coke classes.
Wouldn't your mate be worried about you?
He turns a kind of curious glance aside, just kind of looking for overall expression. Which means I need to go back to the appropriate place to do that.
What you doing, Katie?
Just a general peony, just because she is weird about the whole thing, so she expects other people to be. I don't know. Just any mention of him seems to kind of provoke a side eye. It's 3 successes of kind of curious side eye at his expression overall.
Seems more genuinely curious. You're a happy guru with a mate that's been seen publicly going around, and you're up at God knows what hours of the morning.
I mean, there is that pause of like turning to kind of look at him like, I don't know. There's no telling what she expects, but you can tell she's ready to be defensive. But when there's nothing there to respond to, she just kind of shrugs. He's sleeping.
You gonna tell him you're gonna be up at the crack of dawn most mornings then?
Most mornings?
I get the feeling this is gonna be a regular habit.
I mean, how long are you planning to stay out here?
Shrugs. Why are you so concerned?
I don't see why else I'd be out here. Kind of grins.
So you're specifically coming out here to talk to me?
Yeah, why not?
Why is that?
Well, what are my alternatives right now? For one. For two.
You could go back to bed.
She kind of squints at him. It's not how not being able to sleep works. Man, if I could have rolled over, I probably would have, but no. So here I am. Besides, you're pretty cool.
Am I?
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
I mean, you covered for my ass. I'd consider that pretty cool.
Ah,
Pretty categorically a cool guy thing to do.
we'd shrug. Seemed like the decent thing to do.
Oh yeah, but not everyone around here's decent, so stuck out. Kind of reaches up and taps her temple like, I got this. You know. She's still a little bleary. She's got like the bedhead going.
Just takes another bite of the meat.
She's still like idly munching Cheetos here and there between talking.
So that's it. You just came down here to tell me I'm a cool guy.
I mean, it seemed like a good first step.
Shakes his head.
Grins. That stupid dorky grin.
If that's what you think, I'm not gonna detract. I'm not gonna deter you otherwise.
I mean, I know some other people who are generally pretty cool, but sometimes they punch me in the face.
That's the Fenrir for you.
And the Fianna.
Them too.
They a pretty healthy portion of the people in this vicinity.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you still rank up on the cool guy scale.
Because I haven't punched you in the face.
Yeah, you're considerate and you don't punch me in the face. Got two things going for you.
It's a deadly combo, that is.
It really is. Some serious shit. Like swigs the soda.
Just nods.
That's it. So I was kind of curious, and I'm nosy.
Curious about what?
Why you'd be out here instead of like, I don't know, chilling at your pack house.
Like I said, it's a place to think.
Well, yeah, but haven't you been down here for like days?
Pretty much. It's a place to think.
A lot of thinking.
Suppose it is.
But seriously though, you okay?
Am I okay?
Yeah.
Why are you so concerned?
Well, there was that moment where you threatened to stab me in the throat, and that seemed like a pretty good indication that you were not okay.
That was a moment of anger.
I know. It was kind of a casual shrug, as if, you know, kind of like rolling it off her shoulders. That was some anomalous behavior.
Yes. Yes, it was. Stares out at the lake again, taking a bite. Marcel hasn't caused me enough ire for one lifetime already.
I mean, at the risk of impertinence, he's kind of a dick, though.
I suppose if that's what you want to say.
I mean, it seems like the most kosher way to put it.
Yes. Suppose you're right.
You know, keeping it simple, keeping it fresh,
Keeping it fresh.
current.
Eyebrow raised, like pretty much that expression in the picture. Just
Grinning.
Indeed.
Still got that like lazy, easygoing smile going on.
Have you seen her yet?
Well, since all that, yeah,
And how is she?
she's all right.
Some nods.
I don't know that she even really remembers. I don't think she does.
It's probably better that way.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Considering about how that went, yeah. Small favors.
And how do you feel about it?
I mean, I feel like if I had the ability to, I'd turn Marcel inside out, but I can't really pull that off, so I'm gonna have to settle for thinking fondly about it.
You shouldn't wish to kill another guy in Garou so willingly.
Yeah, well, people who do shit like that shouldn't be considered Gaian anymore, should they? I'm surprised that fucking Bane hasn't crawled right into his skin.
It doesn't take a Bane to make a person evil.
No, it doesn't.
Just takes an action.
Or the series of actions over what were probably years.
Apparently he was a fine Garou before all this.
Well, it's a shame he turned out to be a sadistic asshole.
I mean, when you think about it, when you lose everything, suppose it's quite easy just to slip down that slope.
I mean, it's easy to do things in anger. It's easy to lash out when you're mad. But calculatedly doing a thing that, I mean, let's be fucking flat honest with each other for a minute, obviously conditions a person. That's not acts of passion. That's calculated and fucking sickening and evil. It's not the same.
No, but Marcel is only a symptom of the disease.
How do you figure that? Kind of swigs out of the soda can again.
If you don't know that, you haven't been really paying attention, have you?
Maybe I just wanted to hear you say it.
Shrugs.
I mean, you can call him a symptom, but I don't think anyone told him to do that shit.
Not not now, but at first, yes.
I mean, well, now, yeah. Obviously now, but that stuff, that old stuff, mm-mm. I don't believe it for a second. That was just him being a disgusting person.
No, I don't know.
I don't see where there's anything to doubt about that. That's just a fact. Even if someone else told him to do it, what kind of person can look at someone they married and theoretically cared about and do that to them like that and get reactions like that? That was gross. I'm not shitting you. Like, after I walked away, I threw up. It was, seeing her act like that was just gross. Doing that to someone is disgusting.
I'm gonna put it like this. Fold his arms. Rage twists into hate, and hate twists into sadism.
I mean, I see where you're going, Obi-Wan Kenobi, but Rides has got rage for days, and he's a chipper motherfucker most of the time.
Is he?
Lately, things have been bad, but
Is
up till
he?
now,
Stare. Do you know what's inside his head?
Shrugs. It's not.
And then don't make snap judgments. You sound like a fool. Just because somebody's happy on the outside, displaying for the whole wide world to fucking see, does not mean they're happy. You have a habit to do that, by the way.
Hmm. Which?
Put your foot in your mouth.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. It's a chronic issue.
You need to get off. You need to relax a bit, not jump to a conclusion. That's my advice. I used to do the same thing.
I think I just have a knack for saying things in a way that sounds the worst way possible. All of a sudden,
It's the tone.
I'm sleepy.
It's the tone.
She just kind of pulls her knees up, kind of settles for it a bit, and continues drinking her soda.
I mean, if it's what you want to convey, you're nailing it. But I get the impression you don't want to convey what you're trying to convey.
I was not going for the looking like an asshole. No, that's not the plan.
Nods. I shouldn't have snapped either.
Yeah, but that the trick of it though. You kind of can.
Just because I can doesn't mean I should.
That's why you're Mr. Cool Guy. Kind of glances over, see if she at least got a reaction.
There is a little smirk and he just shakes his head. And I'm not Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay, fine. It was a Yoda quote. Whatever.
Obi-Wan Kenobi wouldn't do the things that I've done.
I feel like we've all done some shit we're not proud of. I can't say that I know whatever you're talking about. I can't pretend I do, but
Let's just say Marcel, in the eyes of many before his recent proclivities, will still have a better favor than I ever will.
well, yeah, but I guess if you wipe out the recent proclivities, he was just a fairly well balanced guru who was doing his shit. I mean, if you
Yes,
erase the shitty thing he did, I bet he looks great.
but he'll still be remembered as a guru that slipped off the edge. Could have happened to any of us. Me? I know I'm damned.
I'd make a really ignorant comment, but that wouldn't work real well because I don't know. I can't really say.
What ignorant comment is that?
Seems kind of fucked up for someone who goes, I don't know, kicking first change Dragabash around, be held in higher regard than someone who acts the way you do. There's a
Then
difference between falling and like getting
then
worse and
then an
getting.
oath breaker.
In case it's not flagrantly obvious.
I think even you, little Philodox, knows what that means.
I know it's bad. I don't know what you did. But whatever it was, you're better now than you were then, aren't you? You're making upward progress. You were making obvious attempts to improve yourself and even just now corrected your own behavior. And he's just sliding down.
But
He's
my
not even
sin,
sliding, he's like running down the hill.
my sin is a far different thing to his. Because we both committed initially crimes of passion. And then chased the indulgence to the point where we both consumed by it.
Yeah, but are you picking fresh targets and doing it over again?
If I did, well, then there would be a serious... Well, let's just say there would be menace running around.
Ah, well, then I'm gonna go with no, you're not. And, yet he is. So, still gonna have to say...
There's the look.
What?
The look.
What look?
The look they all have when they find out.
She kind of squints thoughtfully. You know, brow knitting. You know what? I still don't know the circumstances. You've obviously kind of gestures been judged for your crime and paid for it, and you're not repeating it. He hasn't been judged for his crime, he hasn't paid for it, and he is doing it to other people.
She was my wife. I first changed on our 2 years after our wedding day. We had to see each other every day. One night a cub died. By that time I was fostering. And we just gave in. Kept happening. And then my brother found us one day. Didn't find us, more say. He noticed something about my wife. That she was hiding. Even from me.
Man, her hands are so fucking fascinating right now, you don't even know.
They drove a clave to her heart. As I watched. And then burned me with the brands and granted me my curse. They left me there with her after the beating. Still remember her eyes.
She turns a glance over.
He's not looking at you, he's just looking out at the ocean, like at the lake. You get the impression it's the way he's looking at the water, that kind of clear, faded blue, as if it's just miles and miles away.
Yeah. She's looking to see. He says, I remember her eyes, and she's looking to see. And I imagine the tone doesn't give any indication, but there's that tiny hope that at least he'd remember how she looked when she was living. But nah.
Peony, you can peony it. Because actually, while you're peonying, I gotta make a roll for him.
Oh boy. Nada.
You're not sure. But that look is so fucking far away.
I mean, at least at this point, she's looking up. She's listening. Chewing on her lips some, but listening.
They took her body away then. So they lay there broken. I never did know where she was buried. The last thing I saw was her eyes. Those lifeless blue eyes. He takes a breath. Marcel and Juno could have done the same thing I did. Who knows, perhaps even the temptation was there. One reacted through depression, the other through rage, and they both twisted. That's not saying Juno is to blame. But instead of committing it, Marcel decided to go another route, another sin. As much as I hate the man, I don't wish for the fate that he would have suffered if he had chosen what I chose.
And she is going to turn her face towards the lake. A bit in particular.
Juno had that same look on her face. Those eyes.
She will compose her expression, but when he says that, turns kind of a glance aside. Again, just kind of measuring him up.
More peony again, Katie. If you'd like to, of course.
I would. And I would also like to have all the successes.
You did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you don't got a specialty, do you?
I wish.
5, but you got 5.
Mm-hmm.
From the tired, baggy eyes, from the 1,000-yard stare at that lake, when you can tell he's probably not slept because you can tell he probably dreams about what he saw. But for when that he mentions that Juno had those eyes, maybe it wasn't Juno he saw in that room, begging him. Maybe that's why the reaction was so violent.
Yeah, a couple of things that have been kind of hanging out there, not those pieces that didn't quite fit together on what all went down, start just kind of clicking into place. And yeah, she just kind of studies him. I mean, she's kind of open about it, honestly. She's not like peering at him, just
I
watching.
mean, he's not looking at you at all. He's just. You reckon you could snap your fingers in front of his face and he's light years away? This silent sentinel, essentially.
Hmm. Probably a bad idea, but how close is he sitting?
Close enough, you know. You could reach an arm over.
Yeah, she won't do anything like too interpersonal, but especially if he's starting to get lost in it, which it looks like he is. She just kind of reaches out and she kind of sets a hand on his shoulder just to see
It
if it
takes
props him back.
it takes about 5 minutes for him to finally realize that you're there.
Hey,
Hmm?
she shrugs, lets the hand drop. Doesn't want to make it weird. And now what are you gonna do?
Stay out here.
All the way out here?
Nods. For a while. Eventually, when I rethink of everything, then I'll begin what I was set out to do again.
Yeah. No. I guess. You know, if I can help. Kind of shrugs.
You shouldn't attach yourself to an oathbreaker. I tried telling Juno that.
I mean, depending on what you're working on, it doesn't have to be out in the open for me to help.
Offer you me schemes in the shadows, I see. There's not a spite in his voice, there's just a smirk.
Or, you know, at least the occasional text message. I hear we're good at that.
It's better for your own safety that you don't. I only bring trouble to those who attach themselves to me.
I mean, it seems to kind of be a running trend all over the place here. For what it's worth. I'm pretty sure I'm about to do the same thing to people, so. Shrugs.
You didn't nearly kill someone in your rage.
No? You're right.
Let's just say that I don't deserve to go back there. Roll me another peony as he stares out at the lake again.
Ooh. I will. That's 3 more.
That wasn't Cassie he stabbed. Not in his eyes.
Cassie explained to me what she did.
Mm-hmm.
I know I got fucking hush-hushed on a lot of shit. Did I get hush-hushed on that detail in particular? Because I don't think I did.
No. No, that was just basically what you found out, and you're like, Jesus, Cassie. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, would it make you feel any better knowing that strike wasn't as bad as you think it was?
Hmm?
Kind of quirks a glance over. You see it?
I didn't see Cassie.
Um, yeah, when, and obviously in light of the fact that this was ruled a frenzy, this naturally never happened. But one might think that considering you were waving a clave around and all, it would have left a way cleaner cut, right?
You can go and roll subterfuge. I'm gonna leave out his pure breed. One.
Giving me a shot. Oh
I'm
boy.
gonna just say the emotional state and that fail roll on a certain flaw.
It's
I'm
only
gonna leave out his
one.
pure.
No love for me.
I see.
Do you?
Yes.
I mean, she's got balls of steel.
Gotta roll another subterfuge.
I dirt. I don't think I have anything for this either. No,
Truth of Gaia.
suppose so. Fuck it.
You got 2 successes. Your difficulty is 8.
Jesus.
Galliard.
What is my antipathy? Not any higher, so here's the activation roll.
Hey.
It's still enough.
Yes. You're not sure. There's definitely an untruthful statement there. You know.
What did he say?
It's like, do you understand? And he just goes, yes. I understand now why she did what she did.
What part of it
That's-
rings is untrue because it does say specifically that it will tell what parts are true, are untrue, or are neutral because the person earnestly does not know.
I would say it's why she did what she did. It rings untrue to him, not just in the sense that he's lying. It's more he thinks it's a different reason.
She kind of squints at him for a second. And just kind of goes, when you did what you did, she grabbed it and twisted it so that it wouldn't leave a clean slash, so that it would look as though you'd attacked her in a frenzy for plausible deniability, and so you wouldn't be punished as harshly. Just lays it out.
Well, then that proves only one thing.
That she gives a shit.
Roll that map subterfuge again.
What's he saying? That subterfuge.
Fucking good roll. Yes. That's the reason.
See, the beautiful thing is I already rolled the gift. There's a lie, isn't it?
Yep. Ping! Ding, 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 ding. Brrrt, brrrt, brr, brr, brr. You know what I mean? Essentially.
Just looks at him like, really?
What?
I mean, but for real though.
Just proves what a danger I am.
It proves how much you give a shit. Then at least it's something worth giving a shit about.
I made the
What?
situation. I made it worse.
Maybe.
And I nearly indirectly got another good guru killed. All because I wanted vengeance.
It was a bad call.
And it proves I'm not fit to be around others.
I think you're spreading it a bit further than it needs to be, but
I'm an oathbreaker, Charlotte. I was told my soul is damned. Gaia will never forgive what I did. And I just proved it right.
at least you didn't nearly kill her on purpose.
I was too late to save Tatiana. I didn't want to be too late to save Juno.
I mean, I know we're supposed to be warriors of Gaia and all, and that comes first, but you're still a person.
I serve an example of what you should not be.
So, bear with me for a second. What does that make someone like Marcel?
The same as me.
She just kind of shrugs. It's that I. It's very clearly that, like, I know this isn't an argument I can win. Kind of just heave of the shoulders.
You should go to bed. Don't disappointment waiting for you here.
I mean, I haven't been disappointed yet.
You're not in the pack, are you?
She just kind of glances off towards the lake, shakes her head a bit.
When you do, they'll be very lucky.
Shoots him a puzzled glance very abruptly. It's definitely a bit.
You're a good guru. Just gotta work out the kinks, but the heart's there.
You sure?
Positive.
Can you before I go to bed? You're Galliard, right?
Nod.
Can you my my first change was kind of, it was all at once. It wasn't like there were proper warning signs. I was a teenager. And I just flipped my shit extra hard one day.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear there are like triggers and warning signs and all these things I didn't know about. Is that real?
My first change was spontaneous, but yes, they're supposedly real.
Does that mean if people can keep their fingers off the trigger, the change doesn't happen?
Depends. Who's to say, really? It's a game of chance. Some that are destined to change never change at all, and some that supposedly will never change. It's a fickle thing.
Guess so.
Why? A family member changing?
I mean, I don't know.
Or do you still continue lying?
Kind of looks at him.
I know the look. I know it more than anyone. I know the look when you fear for what's about to happen with your loved one. I know that look.
She was trying to brave face it, but he literally just reached out and like touched that one right on the button. Yeah.
I'll make sure and I'll check around. Let me recall a few things when I'm a bit more. Stares out at the lake and blinks. Hole.
Well, I don't know if it's therapeutic, but you ever get tired of eating rats, you let me know.
You know, the last person that said that to me ended up joining my pack.
It
Lena.
kind of like side eyes. I'm like, what?
Smirks. That got a reaction at least.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not joking.
not joking that she said it.
And proceeded to bring out food the next time she saw me. Just to make a point.
I mean, I led with Cheetos.
She led with burgers.
I mean, I might probably bring out real food next time instead of what I grabbed out of the cabinet.
I see. So you're wanting to join my pack then? Smirk intensifies. Seducing me with food is a good way to go.
Here's the way to a man's heart.
Just gonna have to accept you in now. I'll go out to the rides.
Oh God.
Cranes his head up, like, lifts his head up like he's about to almost like signaling, like, I'm about to communicate.
Don't. She, you know what? She was a little careful about it earlier, but nah, not now. Now he's just being goofy. So the rank gap has been closed. She like reaches over, like doing the shoulder like shoves and like I don't know how pushing him over will help, but she's trying it. Like no, you could just not.
Why do you not wish to be in the pack with the mighty Rise the Lightning?
You know, him and me and Walls, we never seem to end in peaceful conversation.
I will politely decline your request then, Charlotte. For your own sanity. Pats her on the head.
Besides, I mean, I know I'm cool, but I don't think you want my baggage.
Stares at her like, oh, you're talking about baggage. Stare.
I mean,
Stare.
I deserve this. I'm just gonna sit here.
Why did you feel that?
What?
Why did you feel like you deserve your baggage?
No, I meant the stare. What? I mean, I earned the baggage too, all by myself. I'm a big kid. I went out and picked it at the store. Went, man, this is the shit for me. That's not actually how that went, but
besides, I don't think I could hear. I don't think I'll be able to put up with Marie's incessant whining if you joined the pack. If you joined my pack instead of hers. Shakes his head and takes a bite.
Oh yeah, that would be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
See, baggage. I told you, serious business.
I have enough Yana to deal with in my head. Now go on, go get some sleep.
Could you just not mention that I asked that to anyone ever?
Your secret's safe with me.
Thanks.
You know you just trusted the word of an outbreaker, but that's your own judgment. Leans back.
I mean, you already covered for my ass, so
go on, get out of here. Quickly before the secret police find out. Move! Run!
Secret police! What the scrambling.
He just turns and pecks himself at the fire.
And yeah, she will scramble up. She will tactically leave her Cheetos behind. But she'll grab her soda as she's, scrambling up to her feet. And she will, take a couple steps, like the scamper steps, and pause, turn back. If he's looking, she will flick her tongue out at him, like, nah.
No, he's just staring out at the fire.
Yeah, she'll take a glance back, but Violet goes ahead and forges back up to the cabin, emptying what's left in the soda can. And yeah.
As Charlotte goes back into the comfort of her own home, greeted by a sleeping Maria going, why are you awake at this part of the morning? You know what I mean? Skyripper pulls a letter out of his pocket and it reads, at the end of it, it reads, I might even tell you where she's buried. Your brother might, at least, carves the path. This is where the scene will end.